So, with that cap on, we do have to talk. We're on the tail end of basketball season. What's your gut feeling on the Hoosiers now?
Oh, man, I tell you what, they really sank me mid-season with going on the losing streak that they did. And just when I thought they couldn't pull it out, my goodness, they really rallied around. They got talent. Mm-hmm. They've got talent. I think I've enjoyed the way they switched up the lineups and started playing people different. I love seeing him go with the seniors and say, look, we're going to ride with it that one game. And every time I get excited, they I don't know. I'm trying to be a better fan. And I actually had a conversation with my mom the other day, and I was like, I'm not being a good fan. I need to just cheer on our team and hope for the best. I come from that Bobby Knight era, and that's the thing too. A lot of people are like, oh, if we go back to that era, they were trying to fire Knight in the 90s before, they were trying to fire him for a long time. But I hope that we can. I think we should have beat Oregon in Oregon, so I hope that we can win this first Big Ten. I don't know when this is going to come out, but hopefully we'll win tomorrow in the first Big Ten tournament. Hopefully let the committee maybe give us we definitely belong in the tournament. So
most of the articles I read, even as recently as yesterday, have us in. Now, does that change if we tank in the very first game of the Big Ten tournament? Does that tank? I don't know. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
Yeah, if you get beat if they put a whooping on us, if we don't show up, maybe. Right. I don't know. But I honestly, I thought we played at Oregon really well on a 2-game West Coast swing. Obviously, Washington's terrible, but they're playing professional sports these days.
Sure. Right. Yeah. I did go to the Ohio State game, so final home game with 4-ish minutes to play. Ohio State went back up by, I think, 8-ish. Yeah. And I was like, this is over. We're done. Yeah. We're not going to win this. And
I think I threw the remote about that time.
Possibly. But just watch, we just clawing back, and it was a fun, exciting game to watch.
Yeah.
And I was glad we stayed. I just, like you, had lost faith in them. They kind of brought us back, and now it's all right. Let's make something out of this, and then we all want to know who's the next coach.
Yeah, I know, it's been driving me crazy. A lot of talk, a lot of rumors, a lot of unrealistic rumors. Right. Also, a lot of realistic rumors. I don't know either. For me, I think we really have to take a look in the mirror. We haven't been good for a long time,
right?
And guys like us, we know the tradition and we know everything. But a kid in high school, Indiana isn't the top school.
Right.
It's UConn, it's Duke, it's honestly, I'm shocked at what Kentucky's even done. I'm shocked at the SEC, as I hope that they get their butts beat in the tournament. But man, they look strong playing each other.
Right.
Now, is it just because they're playing? I don't really know what the record was preseason against other schools or whatever, but man, they look really good in their conference play. But I think Indiana basketball fans have to have an honest look and say, we would have. I mean, you look at Purdue's success. Indiana would have ran that guy out of town. They would have ran Matt Painter when we were beating the pants off of Purdue when he was in that slump. We would have ran him out of town, and now look what he's done. So I think we really need to get a guy. And obviously the portal's changed everything, and things can happen so much faster. But you also look at the talent that we have, and it's being able to get those guys to perform as a team. And how are you going to do that? So it's such a, to me, we really need to be honest with ourselves and embrace whoever we get. And Scott Dolson made a great, his neck was on the line. He made a great football hire that turned out to be incredible. I mean, I still thought the coach was crazy when he was calling out Michigan and Ohio State on the
dude, don't do that.
Yeah, what are you doing? Okay, let's call out Purdue, and son of a gun, man, well, how'd that turn out? But so I Dolson's obviously earned the right to make this hire. I know all the crazy drama and whatever is and isn't out there, and you only know half the truth about things half the time.
Yeah.
So let's just get a guy and understand that it's not going to be Bob Knight basketball. It's not going to, that's the problem. I feel like we're all educated on the game because of what Mike did and how he instructed, and it's just ingrained in our blood. But it's just going to take a lot of change, and I think some time.
Correct.
Well, I now the ink is dry. I can come out with it. I am the next IU.
You are?
Yes, I am.
Man,
I've been waiting.
Skin is thick.
Well, on day one of my first official day, I'll let you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make Kurt Signetti my first assistant. He's going to do football and basketball.
You know what's crazy, though, is he has changed winning, and his attitude and his everything has changed everything, that now everyone says, go IU.
Yeah.
People didn't say that. It's go Hoosiers, or it's this or that.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. So you, my friend, have already got success going right now.
Yeah.
Incredible first move.
Appreciate it.
I mean, it just takes money, right?
Right.
Well, in fairness and in my love for IU, I didn't take the full boat that they were offering. I was like, no, I'll take half. Let me have the rest. Bring Kurt over.
Yeah.
Bring some of his staff, and so
Taking the Tom Brady approach there a little bit.
100%.
Build the team around us. I like it.
Yeah, I don't need $10 million a year. I'll take $5 million and just get a bunch of rings.
So generous.
I know.
Man, the big house you'd have in Bloomington just on that,
No shit,
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't take a lot to be rich down in southern Indiana.
It doesn't. No.
No.
All right. All right, guys, thanks for joining us on this episode of the Industrious Podcast. Thanks for taking in a little Hoosier background knowledge. We promise we won't go down that path too much, but we'll see. Anyway, special guest today, Mr. Clayton Anderson. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. Clayton is a singer-songwriter, and we'll share a little about what he's up to next. Born and raised here in the great state of Indiana. Clayton, welcome to the Industrious Podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
This is amazing. We've never had a retired astronaut on our podcast before. That's not you?
No, it's
God,
not.
Now I got to redo all my
sorry.
questions.
Take all that Wikipedia stuff and
There
just
is a
scratch it
Clayton
out.
Anderson retired astronaut, though.
There is.
No, he went to IU, not Purdue.
We actually have become friends. That's the crazy thing.
All right,
He honestly one of the coolest things, and we got to go to Johnson Space Center down in Houston, and he gave us one of the coolest tours that I've ever had in my entire life. And I'm because we bantered back and forth on Twitter a little bit, or X,
Right.
back and forth a little bit because people kept mistaking us. And he said something snarky, and I was like, hey, man, I come from a county that has 3 astronauts. One was one of the first, Gus Grissom. And
That's right, yeah.
so we went back and forth and ended up becoming friends, went down there. Pink was there that day, and we got a better tour than she did. And then he came to Nashville, and we wrote a song, and unfortunately haven't got to put it out yet, but hopefully soon we'll get to put the song out. It's really cool. He's a really nice guy.
Did you ask him for a ride on the vomit comment?
Yeah. Oh, man, I tell you what, I thought I could handle some things, and I don't get claustrophobic, but my goodness, he put us in some of the... And I couldn't do it. Couldn't handle it.
You're like, let me out of this right now.
Yeah.
You had me at Pink on that tour. I think I would have sidetracked the spaceships and figured out where she was at.
Just followed her around a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's pretty good.
I'm sure she watches or listens to our podcast, right?
Pink, if you're out there right
100%.
now, send us some backstage passes.
I mean, she's clearly a fantastic singer and performer, but Jesus, dude, she's freaking ripped.
Oh, yeah.
Damn,
she's
she's
a
ripped.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
I mean,
Works for me.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Apparently, he likes being tied up.
Well, ouch. This is not that kind of podcast. Anyway, Clayton, why don't you do our listeners and viewers a little favor and give us a little background intro on yourself?
Yeah, hillbilly from Bedford, Indiana. Grew up worshiping Damon Bailey, who was my boyhood hero, and wanted to play basketball. And Bob Knight never came to recruit me like he did Damon, but ended up going to college at IU. Had always loved music. Stopped going to chemistry class at 8 o'clock in the morning and started playing guitar till about 3 o'clock in the morning and couldn't make it up that early. And honestly, just by kind of falling into it by accident of playing, we'd entertain people on the couch. I fell in love with music and wanting to play. And it was really, I didn't play basketball anymore, so it was easier to talk to the girls at the party. And so that's kind of how I fell into it. And then fast forward, I didn't really know what I was doing or where I was going. My friends all kept asking my mom when I was going to grow up and get a real job. And I kept hanging around IU because I thought, if I graduate, then I've got to get a real job and I got to quit this and put it behind. And there's been a lot of great music history come from the state of Indiana, from John Mellencamp to Jackson 5 to, there's so many, John Hyatt, so many people. But we're not taught here that you can make a living by either a songwriter or playing music or whatever. So I ended up winning this Kenny Chesney contest, fast forward, and I was sitting on Lake Monroe with my dad, and I said, I don't want to be a grumpy old man one day saying what if. So I took off and tried and started playing down in the South because I thought, people just like me up here because I'm from here. And then went down south and started playing, and one thing led to another, and ended up in Nashville, and here we are. That's a roundabout way.
Quite a whirlwind.
Yeah.
When did you start going from just playing at house parties or whatever to starting doing gigs?
It first started. It's probably a couple years. There was a bar in my hometown called Rusty's West End, and it was like the biggest night of the year. It was a Christmas or a Thanksgiving night, and this guy who I love, and he was actually he's making it in Nashville, and he came back home, and it's his time. He was playing that night, but he got laryngitis, so they called around, and everyone was booked because it was the biggest night, so they got stuck with me, and I think we ended up going in and playing the same 8 songs over and over and over and over again. But we brought a lot of people, and that was a big eye-opening. I noticed that we weren't very good, but we brought so many people that they were so happy to have us keep coming back.
Yeah, that's cool. Making that decision, when you're having that conversation with your dad, I can envision myself having that conversation with our father and what my dad probably would have said to me, which probably wouldn't have been super encouraging. How did your dad react?
My dad's a factory worker. He GM his entire life, almost the hardest working guy I've ever met, and sacrificed working 12 hours, 7 days a week to give our family an incredible life. And I was nervous to have the conversation with him a little bit. He's super supportive, but also very pragmatic and realistic, and was on me a lot in college and cut me off because I deserved to be cut off because I was wasting his hard-earned money by not going to class. And I look back at it, and I feel I disrespected him so much by doing that. But he was super encouraging and has really helped me. I'll get choked up talking about it, but has been over backwards trying to help me any way he can by either selling my merch or by helping me fix a car or a trailer or whatever I needed, just trying to be there. He's the greatest dad a kid could ever have, and he encouraged me to do it. And it was nice because I've met so many kids that don't have a good family, that have a tough background. It's like, man, you are all on your own down here, and it's not like being Vince Vaughn, who has a millionaire father, and he decided to go try to make films. But it was nice to have the support from my family and stuff.
Yeah, awesome. You go down south, start playing. When you found yourself in Nashville, and I suspect it's kind of like someone decided to start a business one day. Lots of people go to Nashville to make it, and what's the percentage of those that actually do? By probably like 1%, probably less than 10%.
Oh man,
what kind of experience can you tell us what was that like?
It's hard. It is. I mean, we learned right away. My guitar player was from Tennessee, so we went down there. Back before digital, we had a manila envelope and we had like 12 of them, and I was like, all right, let's go down here and let's try to get a gig. And so we went all over town, passing out to every bar that we could come across and look up in the ad of, okay, all right, this thing has live music here. And so that same guy who had laryngitis, who didn't make that show that I had to be his replacement, was playing at a really cool spot in Nashville called The Basement. And it's a really cool venue, an original music venue in town. So we went and saw him. And so after his set, I'm like, hey, what's up, man? We're down here trying to do it. And I said, we handed our manila envelope to the bar owner here today. And he takes me and introduces me to this guy named Grimy. And he goes over.
That's how
yeah, Grimy. Yeah. And so he goes over and picks up the manila envelope that hasn't been opened out of the trash can. And I'm like, and everyone was so nice that day. They were smiling and so happy to have us in town. I was like, this is going to be easy. And man, it was a shock. I was like,
they were like, "Yep, another one."
Yeah, and there's signs that say no soliciting, and that's really what it means. They're like, we don't want you if you can't do that. So that was a big eye opener. And the greatest part about it though is I got to play a big showcase, a label. Every record label was in town. I mean, like this was when Justin Timberlake was trying to sign us, and I got to play that venue and. I told the story, and he's there at the bar and cracking up, laughing. It was great, but that was a tough, eye-opening time. And then, luckily, randomly, this is so random because I've been trying, and it was hard to break in. And so, finally, I met a guy. I played a show in Georgia, and he gave me this guy's number. He was from Evansville and happened to be Luke Bryan's original roommate when they all moved to town. So I met with him. We ended up starting to make a record, work on a record. I didn't even have a record. We made a crappy little demo in our basement, So making a real record that ended up being Torn Jeans and Tailgates, my first record. And at the same time, had been doing some stuff with a guy named Greg Derbyshire, who's a sports guy. Had been doing he does sports camps all over the country for big-time athletes. He knew Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk Herbstreit had just moved to Nashville. Mm-hmm. Kirk Herbstreit's best friend was Joe Fisher, who worked at Universal Records. And so Kirk Herbstreit is pitching Universal Records me, and I get over there, and that's really when things really started to take off on a bigger level for us.
The only name I didn't hear in there was Kevin Bacon. Yeah. We're almost back to Kev. Kirk's pretty close.
Yeah. They got to know each other somehow, right?
They probably do. That's pretty incredible. I mean, let's face it. So from a business standpoint, I mean, networking's huge.
Oh, absolutely. Every bit of it. And honestly, though, my biggest, I would go to different things. It's tough now. I would hate to be, I don't know where I would even start going now, because when I first went in 2011, 12, it was just a town. It was still a town. It was still very small.
Seems like it's changed a lot just in 10 years.
Yeah, there were only like 2 or 3 bars that people would hang out in. So you would go there, network. And I hate to say it, but I mean, I made my biggest and best contacts at a bar. You would go watch people perform or play, and it's like, oh, I want to write with that guy, or I feel like I would gel with this person. Or you meet record label guys hanging out at the bar at Tin Roof. Tin Roof was on Demumbrian was the spot that everyone was hanging out at the time when I first moved there. BMI, ASCAP, these are called PROs, so your performance rights organization. Okay. So if my songs play, it's like when I had a Ford Truck National commercial, those guys are collecting that money from radio, television for me. That'll come in. I get a check. It's mailbox money. That's the best money you can get in the music business. But those people used to have big events, and you could go, and they had beer and free food. So of course every broke songwriter is going to be they're going to be there. And I got to meet a lot of people that way. And honestly, one of my biggest helps was that guy named Brian Kolb, who I met, who was the guy that was Luke Bryan's roommate. He really introduced me to who some of these guys have went on to be the greatest songwriters in Nashville. it was a huge help. It's all about networking.
Yeah.
So I want to go back for a second because, this podcast, a lot of our guests, we really just try to vary like any industry or any background. And whether you're an owner, a manager, it doesn't matter, because as we kind of always say, no matter what your differences are, we all have the same challenges. To go back to that conversation on the boat with your dad, and what I'm hearing is I'm going to take a risk, right? Like, I know the path of like security or certainty would be this one, but I'm not feeling it. I'm going to take the risk and the leap and really trust in myself to go and try and break into something. If you got a young listener who's, 20-ish, whether they're saying, I want to take a career risk, or, hey, I'm in college, I'm not feeling it, I want to do something that's a dream. Like, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's an entrepreneurial part of the whole roller coaster thing of it all. First, you have to jump the risk. You have to say, I'm going to do it. You have to have a game plan, which I did, which was I'm going to go south. I'm going to line up these shows at colleges and see what happens. But yeah, you have to, but I think that's the hardest part is saying,
taking that leap.
I'm going to do it. Today's the day. I'm doing this today.
As Nike said, just do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. What a great, what genius! I mean, it's so simple. To me, it is the hardest part, but yet it's the simplest part. And it takes, if you're on the cusp of wanting to open a car wash, if you're on the cusp of wanting to open a cleaning service, if you're on the cusp of wanting to build skyscrapers, today is the day that I'm saying yes to myself and believing in myself that I can do this. And I mean, failure is the big key word these days, and we have to learn through failure. And of course you're going to, but you've just got to get going. You've got to do it. And you have to have the drive inside, because your guys' business, I can't push you to do it, and you guys can't push me to do mine. Now we can help each other, but it has to start here.
Yep. You got to be okay with getting uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been uncomfortable so many times. That's the hardest part about. It's so funny. We went caroling this past Christmas.
Yeah, I think I saw you a couple posts of that.
Yeah, and we had a blast. But the first one, everyone's getting clammed up, and it went from like, oh, we're excited, we're rolling around, and here we go, it's time. And even some of my most outgoing friends I'm like,
oh shit, they actually opened the door.
You knock.
Now what do I do?
No, you knock. No, you knock. Yeah, you knock. Too late. We're already on the Ring doorbell. They know we're here.
Yeah, and we were going to, so we're just going to do bars originally, but we stopped at our friend manages Ambrosia, and so we were going to go there first, and we were already welcomed. Now these other folks were like, are you sure this is good? But it's like, it's uncomfortable. You got to go in there and you've got to own it. Like the part of, and the thing that I love about music that it's taught me is, and I think it translates in any business, you have to own it. You have to own the room, and you have to find a way to connect with people. Because if you cannot connect, the only way you make money in music right now is by selling tickets. So if you can't connect with people and have them come to your live show, if you can't walk into a room and connect with someone and figure out how to sell them on what you're doing or be a part of what you're doing, then you're gonna really struggle.
So you made that comment. So I know nothing about the business side of the music industry, and you just made the comment that the only way to make money right now is by selling tickets. Like, what does that mean?
So honestly, the music business is one of the hardest businesses ever, and I'm glad I picked it. Real glad I picked it. But so there were gatekeepers back in the day. Those are kind of gone now with the internet. You can. I mean, there's still gatekeepers, but you can push and create and grow. Even back in the day when, okay, I'm going to sign you guys. Here's $1 million. You do what you will with it. You owe me a record, but you can blow it on drugs, alcohol, women, or you can make a great record and then pocket some of it to live on. But the record companies still control it. But sells from the record. They didn't do 360 deals. They call them 360 deals now, where I'm going to take a piece of your merch, I'm going to take a piece of your touring, I'm going to take a piece of your records. Back then, you got more money from the records. You got to keep all of your touring. So, and touring today is still the biggest. So, the record sales have plummeted. The streaming numbers are still good if you're on the label side of it. Sorry, this is confusing. There's two sides to a song. There's a sync side that is publishing owned. That's the written, curated, whatever, and that's owned by songwriters and publishing, and then your publishing side of it. And then there's the master side, which is owned by the record label. That is the physical recording of that song. Mm-hmm. Streaming still pays really well for the master side. So, for example, I had a song in Miracles, a movie called Miracles from Heaven. It paid $10,000 a side. So I owned the master, so I got $10,000 all to myself because I owned it. Now, had I had a record label, I might have got 20%, 10%, because that's usually how those deals shake out. I owned all my publishing, so I split it three ways with the writers that I had. Those writers were signed to publishing deals, so their money went to the publisher who had been paying them to write, and I got to take that money. So it's all a game on whether you want to sign with a label or not. Used to, you had to have a label, and still, if you want to get to Morgan Wallen, Beyonce, if you want to get to the top, you still have to have a major label because they control the outlets to get you that exposure. Sorry if that.
No, it makes sense.
And the touring is where you make all the money. I mean, that's where you're generating the most income. The streams aren't paying enough to keep you afloat. Yeah, I mean, some people can make, $100,000 a year on streaming as an indie smaller label or act, but you have to go out there and play those shows, and the more people you play to, the more money you can make.
So, fanboy moment. I do have your music in my Spotify library.
Thank you. Almost half a penny. Almost a penny.
So I was going to ask
almost
you,
a penny.
Like, as a random guy like me who is a Spotify subscriber who listens to music as my primary source, what does that mean to the artist?
Oh, it means everything. And I was lucky enough to realize how big Spotify was going to be. We put out a record my second record called Right Where I Belong, and it just randomly, we had a bunch of people buy it on iTunes before they had their streaming service, but then Spotify put it on my song called Your Love's Like Country Music. They put it on their biggest streaming playlist. Mm-hmm. And I was the only independent artist on there, and it was smaller at the time. Now they're huge. It was smaller, and man, our shows went up. We have more people coming to the show. I'm like, this is powerful. And the labels didn't control it at the time. So it was such an awesome moment. But for me, some people, I mean, they're starting to come around to it now, but a lot of people have been anti-streaming because of the pay. And they don't pay the publishers and the songwriters correctly yet. They're coming along. But as an independent artist that I've been most of my life, I cherish that moment where you can discover me, and then you can share it with your friend. And I still think word of mouth is the most powerful tool. I mean, I can run ads on Spotify, I can do whatever, but the thing that moves the needle most for me is by playing a live show, and then you engaging, following it, putting it on your playlist, saving it, following me on where you're streaming your music, and then sharing it with your friends. So thank you for having it on there. And, my mom plays it at night and just turns the volume down, and every time it streams, I get almost a penny. So not to tell you what to do when you go to bed tonight, but hey, if you want to help me. There you go.
Well, I found it all through Napster, so.
Yeah! Which is another thing, is technology. And sometimes, and I feel like the movie industry has fought it a little bit, and I think they're making a mistake. The music industry made a huge mistake by fighting it so much. But I wouldn't know the band OAR, which is one of my favorite bands of all time, without Napster.
Like classic 99, 2000 time frame.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, like, if you go back to Napster was big. I was in college, and I remember, like, we had internet to our rooms, and my buddy had a laptop, and that's all we did was, I guess at this day and age, like pirate music. But if Napster hadn't come out, which obviously Metallica was one of the leading bands fighting and suing it, but if that technology hadn't come out, what would have been? Where would streaming be today, or how delayed would it have been to say, oh, we can get music through the internet?
Yeah,
like in the quantity that we can get it.
Yeah, they definitely led the charge. I mean, they opened up the whole gamut of where it can come from, and Spotify took it to a whole nother level. I mean, it's so funny how fast it's changed, though. It's changed so quickly. But if I understand why Metallica was so mad, like, I mean,
I get it. They were stealing people's work.
Yeah, it does stink, and they're not getting paid because they're used to getting paid by someone going to Walmart and buying their record. But I think if they just wouldn't have been so angry about it and moved quicker, even quicker, because still from 2000, I mean, like early 2000s to Spotify really started booming in 2012, 11,
something like
11
that.
around.
I guess if you think about it,
12,
like
14.
Lars and his boys probably should have said, "Hey, we'll buy Napster from you."
Yeah, I just think they fought it, and they should have. You can't fight change. Like, it's going to happen, and you just got to adjust.
Yeah.
Pivot, or
There you
whatever
go.
you want to say.
Oh, I hate
Yeah.
that word.
I know.
Speaking
it's
of-
so overused.
It's one of those like
Well.
COVID words. I'm like, stop using that
And
word.
I hate it because my coach in high school would be like, "Use your other pivot foot." I'm like, my one buddy couldn't tell left from right, and then he'd make us all run. So it's still a nightmare for me.
Right. Well, speaking of pivoting, let's get into today. You got some new stuff you're working on.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about that. What I'm most curious to know, and I want you to share with everyone what it is. I know it's been out, but what led to the decision and all that?
Probably dumber than going into music,
Oh, too late.
Yeah. It's something that I've been interested in for a while. Obviously, every country singer's put their name on a bar downtown Broadway. I feel like there's a big opening in Indiana for it. I get frustrated when friends come in from out of town. I'm the biggest Indiana homer you can possibly. I mean, I still live in Indiana. I live in Nashville too. I would rather live in Indiana full time and just do the business of whatever, because I just love being here. I mean, I just think there's something about Indiana you can't find anywhere
We
else.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe.
Yeah. But so I thought there was an opening and an opportunity, and something that can carry me on. I mean, I'm not getting any younger, so it's off thinking about too, what am I going to do in my next phase of my career and life. So I thought, I've been wanting to open a bar, music venue. One, I think we have an incredible amount of talent in the state. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of music, great music played here. So hopefully I can give those people a stage to play on where they don't feel like they have to run to Nashville. There's a lot of people down in Nashville from Indiana playing down there on the bars of Broadway right now. Hopefully I can be a good influence on them, help them in their own musical endeavors, and then also create an awesome, fun, family-friendly environment that people can come and hang out and have a good time and listen to good music and get away from their troubles a little while. And again, it really, really, really was hitting me. We have so many. Indianapolis is just like Nashville to me, and I'm lucky that I got to see it happen and transform right in front of my eyes. But Nashville is a convention-driven town, and we are a great convention town as well.
Right.
So I don't think we capitalize on it the way that Nashville did. Nashville was like, come down here. We are going to play music for you, and we're going to entertain you. And people love it, and they're busy Monday through Thursday. Used to, I mean, me and Cole Swindell we'd go down and hang out on Broadway on Wednesday or Thursday and watch some guys we like play, and there were no tourists yet. And then all of a sudden you started seeing tourists show up on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there'd be tourists coming to town. But because of conventions, it's packed and crazy busy Monday through Monday. And I think if we work hard and work with the city and the state, I think we can help drive the conventions, give convention goers something fun to do because they want to be entertained.
Right.
So I think there's a lot of opportunity, but I'm nervous as heck and excited all at the same time.
Well, that's natural. I think the one question I've got is, when you said there's a hole in the market, and there are places that have live music, but they don't, at least to my knowledge, the ones that are coming to mind aren't necessarily a restaurant. What separates you? What makes you guys? And if you would, what's the name?
Yeah. So we're gonna do two. We're gonna open 2 locations. One in Broad Ripple called Ripple Rodeo, and it's gonna be more of a Western cowboy, Western country bar themed venue. Very small. It's gonna be smaller. More like, I put it as like the downstairs of Tootsie's. Small stage, but it'll be really cool and vibey. I'm excited about the vibe. I want to make it to be, and me and my partners have talked about this. Let's make it someplace that we want to hang out.
I kind of felt like he's describing the patio, which ever since the patio in Broad Ripple closed, I've had a hole in my heart.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's kind of been on this movement of like, let's make Broad Ripple great again. It got out of hand. It got out of control. It tanked. They've put a lot of effort and money into making it nice. The sidewalks are a lot wider. I mean, like, I remember.
We grew up real close to it. I'm old enough that when I was straight out of IU, came back to Indy, we went to Broad Ripple every weekend. It was totally fine. Never felt insecure, whatever. Now that I have kids who are college age, I'm not sure I want them going into Broad Ripple.
I know, and that's
I'm hoping that wants to change.
That's been our big effort. It's been changing slowly.
Yeah.
But I think, Mass Ave came into town. It was all brand new.
Yeah.
They've been on a 10, 12-year run now. I don't know how long, but it's been a while. So I feel like there is that window of time that, okay, maybe this is the time and effort. Have some friends who are really invested into that area. Honestly, when that press release came out about us doing this, the nicest thing was hearing from people my age and around my age saying, wow, I live in Broad Ripple. This is going to be so awesome. I feel like I'll have a cool place to go. Because, there's good bars there already, but I think it just needs a clean slate. And I think we can lead the charge on creating something new and fun. And again, family friendly, safe, that people like to go to and have good entertainment and have a good time. I mean, it's like for me, it's like I've done all my networking at a bar. It's not necessarily I'm not going in there to get smashed or hammered,
right?
Which I have, but it's a great place to hang. I don't know. It's just we want to create a great space that everyone will feel comfortable and really enjoy hanging out in.
Yep, that sounds great.
Yeah.
So one location in Broad Ripple, another one downtown, you said?
Yeah, well, another one downtown, and made a huge pivot last night after trying to, I'm pushing like crazy. I've got some things in the works on the music side. I've kind of been stuck in a record deal snare right now that I'm almost out of. So then we're working on some things. So hopefully I can blow a song up and go national. I've tried for 12 freaking years to do it, and I've got to be realistic. I've got 1 or 2 big pushes in me, and then I'm going to be timed out, So I'm trying to be really strategic in that, and then but also thinking strategically long term. Hey, if we can have some success in this, why not take it to other towns?
Yeah.
Cincinnati's come to Indianapolis with some great concepts, so why can't we go to Cincinnati, Louisville, maybe even Nashville? So we ended up changing it. It was going to be Clayton's Honky Tonk, but there's honky tonks all over the place on Broadway, and I couldn't find one that was a country bar. So and it's got a better ring to it to me. So it's going to be called Clayton's, an exclusive, Clayton's Country Bar. Okay. And we're going to run with that one downtown in the old Hard Rock space.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll be more your modern country. I mean, both places are going to play modern country, but it'll be more modern country themed. Just it'll feel like you're on in the stage down on Broadway is what I kind of liken it to.
Okay, awesome. So you're still doing music?
Yeah, still doing music. So it's going to be doing music. My part of our partnership is I'm bringing all kind of name, image, likeness type deal. Bring my name to it. I'll perform it, both of them, especially a lot coming out of the gate. Want to get people excited, want to get people in there, but also want to open that stage up to our great talent that we have here in Indiana. Also want to bring some of my friends up from Nashville to get them going, to introduce Indiana to some of this great talent that's down there as well. Because and I didn't think I'd be able to do it at first, but Broadway's gotten so big that these guys really aren't making the money that they were making even 3 years ago. Because everybody and their brother wants to play down there, so they're not getting paid. And if you don't have a good slot, you're not going to be able to get the tips. They all hustle on tips. So some of them are open to wanting to come up. I was really hoping we were going to be open by the time that David Lee Murphy plays here next week with Brooks and Dunn, or in April, but we're not going to be. This is going to be mid-April and mid-May is our goal for shooting.
May's a pretty good time in Indy.
Yeah,
sure
is. But David Lee Murphy is going to come in, so I'm kind of bummed about that. But we'll get him to come back by. But I have so many friends in the music business, so I think it'd be cool, and maybe we can make it like one of those Nashville type things that you just never know who you're going to see or who's going to pop in.
Well, that's a key piece of. I mean, I don't know who your partners are. It doesn't matter. That's a key piece that you bring to the table is have that connection.
Yeah.
I suspect you probably have some partners who have experience in the restaurant business, and so that's going to help fill that.
Yeah. We one of my partners is great. Knows great how to run the bar side of it. My other partner's great in real estate, and a great businessman all around. So. It's I think it's exciting. It's just like starting music. It's like. You got to say yes. You got to do it. And this felt like the most comfortable position and situation to do it. And it not only that, but I think there's a demand for it. I think we really can. It frustrated me this past football Big Ten championship. I had all these friends in town saying, "Oh, where can we go see?" Everyone wants live music.
Yeah.
I remember I came into music playing the wrong time because it went from live music to everyone started playing DJs. Everyone wanted to DJ. It was cheap. I mean, I was losing money playing fraternity parties because I had to pay the sound guy. I'd get paid like $500 to the fraternity. Had to pay the sound guy $600. And I'm like, what am I? Honestly, I don't know why I've ever kept doing this, but I love it so much.
A lot of Natty Light stuff here.
Yeah. So it's such a, you just got to push it so hard. But now I feel like we're turning this tide of people want live music again. And so Tin Roof is really the only spot downtown. There's a lot of other great venues around and restaurants that play live music, but we just want to separate ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Sorry, I ramble a lot.
No, you're good.
That's good.
I made a note here because I really wanted to ask you about this, and the "show me your fish." Not a good pickup line to use, by the way. just trust me. Don't use it as a pickup line. But can you give some background? Because I was like, I read about it. I was like, I need to ask about this.
Yeah.
Like, it was tied to a fishing competition.
Yeah.
And then it just like went from there.
Yeah. And so I kept seeing on social media all these girls complaining about dudes showing their fish pic on
You really got to like enunciate that.
Yeah, fish pic on their dating app. They're like, I'm tired of seeing your fish. So it's like, well, girls, I think you're missing the point here. I said, you can actually tell a lot about a guy by the type of fish he's holding up. If he's holding up a crappie, He's probably a good old country boy. He can cook, he can clean, he can grow a garden, he can take care of you if times get hard. That's somebody you might want to be interested in right there. If he's holding up a bass, he ain't got no money because he spends it all at Bass Pro Shop. He's never going to be home because he's on the lake fishing all day. So that's probably not the guy.
He's got a hell of a boat.
He does. But that's probably a bass fishing boat. That's probably not the guy you want to be with because you ain't going to get your tan out there laying out on the back of the bass boat because he's going to be fishing all over it. Or if a guy's got a big old marlin on the back of it, you just caught yourself a whale, honey. You're going to go all over the world.
There you go.
He got a big old multi-million-dollar boat. But it kind of took off. So I pitched it to my songwriters. I was like, man, I got this idea. I think we could pitch this and get this on Bass Pro or whoever. And it's called Show Me Your Fish. We wrote it. We wrote it in like 20 minutes. It was so quick and natural and hillbilly. It's how I grew up fishing, you know? And so it was a real quick song. And then I remember writing with David Lee Murphy. He's like, man, what are you trying to say with that? And I was like, no, really, it's just show me your fish. Just show me your fish. And luckily, the SFC Sport Fishing Championship picked it up and used it as their theme song. We actually changed it to the lyrics to make it less hillbilly fishing and how I grew up to more of sport fishing, big marlin type fishing boats. But that was really cool, and getting to do that with all the NFL players that they had in the Miami. They had a huge thing called The Catch in Miami, and that was cool as crap. I mean, I was on CBS television, you know, talking about fishing and show me your fish. I was like, I never expected that to happen. So that was really cool and fun. But you know, got some ideas for this song and working on ways. I'm actually going fishing down next week with my buddy, and we're putting together some. We're starting a fishing product business. So all from a silly fishing song.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the inspiration came from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A T-shirt may have said something else or a sign, but
sure did.
Inspired one way or the other.
Sure did.
Snake Fit vibes right there.
You know, it's crazy. At the shows, I'd say, I'm like, hey, I just want to see your fish. I don't want to. But it is actually pretty cool, man. People hold up their phones and are showing their fish and stuff. But I'm like, keep the others away. Family-friendly show here. Girls, family-friendly.
So we went from like farmersonly.com to like fishermanonly.com.
Yeah, there you go.
Boy, if that's not there, we should go, guys. There we go.
Light bulb moment.
Trademark that shit right now.
Let's go, because I'm not kidding you. There's a lot of money. You got to have a lot of money to go fishing.
Oh, man. All right. Well, Clayton, thank you for coming in and sharing your backstory and educating us on not just the music industry, but also what you're working on now. We certainly wish you much success with these two bars, restaurants.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to them opening up and checking them out.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Like I said, I'm nervous. This is so outside my wheelhouse, but I mean, I've grown up playing at every bar from California to New York City, so why not give it a try?
And as you've learned from that, like it takes a team, right?
Yeah.
It takes a village, a team, whatever it is, which you've already got that put together. So we wish you guys, your collective group, nothing but success.
Thank you very much. Ask me in a year. It's actually funny. I ran all this by my buddy Jason Shear, who started the Tin Roof, and he of all the advice he gave me, he's like, man, you'll know in the first year it's either going to be awesome or it's not. The biggest fear for me, that they talk about fears and different things of what. The biggest fear about this for me is it tanking? And then I put a little thing on my, I just don't want it to be, I've worked so hard to keep my name here and keep it on a level where I just don't want it to tank. That's my biggest fear, and what pushes me to, and I push my partners to make this incredible and great. So hopefully everybody will love it.
Well, sometimes fear can be good. It's a great motivator, right?
It sure is. It's been keeping me up at night, man. I just need to get back to songwriting, but we'll see.
Well, we'll do both.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
And thank all you guys for joining us on this episode of the Industrious Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the conversation as well. Wherever you get your podcasts, we appreciate you tuning in. And for those of you watching on the Accessa YouTube channel, thank you for tuning in as well. Until next time, guys, don't forget, be industrious.